As the world steps into 2025, new and complex geopolitical challenges are emerging. From intensifying conflicts in Europe to rising military postures in Asia, the global landscape is more volatile than ever. What are the major flashpoints? How are world leaders responding? And what does it mean for the future of international relations? Today on Pulse of Politics, we dive deep into the looming global challenges of 2025 and analyze the potential impact on the world stage. The Ukraine-Russia war continues to be a dominant concern in global politics. As of 2025, the conflict shows no signs of de-escalation. Despite international sanctions and diplomatic efforts, Russia's military presence in eastern Ukraine remains formidable. NATO allies, led by the United States, have increased military aid and advanced weapons systems to Ukraine, further straining relations with Moscow. Recent intelligence reports indicate that Russia may be preparing for a new offensive aimed at consolidating territories in the Donbass region. This comes as Ukraine pushes for greater support from the European Union and the United States, requesting advanced air defense systems to counter Russian missile strikes. Global leaders are deeply concerned about the possibility of a wider conflict. Experts warn that a direct clash between NATO forces and Russia could trigger unprecedented consequences, heightening fears of a global crisis. Another major flashpoint is the South China Sea. China continues to assert its territorial claims in the region despite opposition from neighboring countries and international condemnation. In 2025, Beijing has intensified military activities, including deploying warships and conducting live-fire drills around disputed islands. The United States, along with regional allies like Japan and the Philippines, is pushing back against Chinese aggression. Freedom of navigation operations by U.S. naval forces have increased, leading to heightened risks of confrontation. Diplomatic efforts through ASEAN have made little progress, as China remains firm on its maritime ambitions. Analysts predict that without a comprehensive diplomatic solution, the South China Sea will remain a potential flashpoint for conflict throughout 2025. North Korea's nuclear ambitions continue to pose a serious threat to regional and global security. In recent months, Pyongyang has conducted multiple missile tests, including intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBMs, capable of reaching the U.S. mainland. Intelligence agencies warn that North Korea is rapidly expanding its nuclear arsenal and enhancing missile accuracy. Despite diplomatic overtures, North Korea remains defiant, rejecting calls for denuclearization. The United Nations has imposed further sanctions, but their effectiveness remains uncertain. South Korea and Japan, backed by the United States, are ramping up their missile defense systems. The growing militarization in East Asia raises concerns about accidental escalation and the potential for a devastating conflict. Tensions in the Middle East are evolving with new geopolitical dynamics. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict remains unresolved, with recent clashes intensifying in the West Bank and Gaza Strip. Israel's government faces increasing pressure domestically and internationally to find a lasting peace solution. In the Persian Gulf, Iran's nuclear program continues to provoke global anxiety. Talks aimed at reviving the nuclear deal have stalled, leading to fears that Tehran could accelerate its weapons development. Additionally, new alliances are emerging. Saudi Arabia and Israel have reportedly increased cooperation against shared regional threats, while China and Russia are deepening their strategic partnerships with Iran. Economic instability is another critical factor shaping global politics in 2025. The world continues to recover from the lingering effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, but rising inflation, energy crises, and supply chain disruptions are fueling political unrest. In the United States, debates over interest rate hikes and government spending dominate the political landscape. Meanwhile, the European Union is grappling with energy shortages due to reduced Russian gas supplies, prompting concerns about economic stagnation. Developing nations are bearing the brunt of rising food prices and debt burdens. Global institutions like the International Monetary Fund, IMF, warn of a growing debt crisis that could destabilize fragile economies. As technology advances, cybersecurity threats are becoming a defining challenge for global security. Nations are increasingly investing in cyber defense capabilities to protect critical infrastructure from state-sponsored attacks. In 2025, intelligence agencies report a surge in cyber operations targeting government networks, financial systems, and electoral processes. Major players like the U.S., China, and Russia are engaged in a digital arms race. Cyber attacks can have devastating impacts, from disrupting energy grids to influencing democratic elections. International bodies are calling for new treaties to regulate cyber warfare, but achieving global consensus remains elusive. The year 2025 presents a complex and volatile global landscape. As geopolitical tensions rise across Europe, Asia, and the Middle East, the world faces critical decisions that will shape the future. How can nations navigate these challenges? Will diplomacy prevail, or are we heading toward greater conflict? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Stay tuned to Pulse of Politics for in-depth analysis and real-time updates on the world's most pressing issues. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to stay informed. Our world is at a crossroads, and the decisions made today will determine the course of tomorrow.